Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Hi, my name's Vanessa Franz. I'm based in beautiful British Columbia, Vancouver, and my story starts with being an entrepreneur. Firstly, I'm a mom. I'm married. I've been married to my husband, who's a physiotherapist and has his own clinic in Vancouver. We've been married for 7 years. We've been together for 11 years. And during that journey, we have welcomed two beautiful children into the world. Tilly, who is 3, and Hudson, who is 7, turning 8 very soon. And they are the best gifts possible. But also being an entrepreneur, there's a lot of expectation to manage the household, manage the home, have a healthy relationship, and 2 striving and fulfilled children, while also meeting deadlines and pursuing my own goals. And that kind of brings me into what I do for a living, which is influencer marketing. And I came into that. Before that, I was a short-term rental manager. I had my own agency. I did short-term rental for a few years. I really enjoyed it. I met so many amazing people from around the world. And I love property. I really loved that kind of niche of travel and welcoming people into my hometown. And so I did that for many years. I really enjoyed it. And 2020 came and all of that completely died. I had a thriving business. I was very, very busy. And when lockdown hit, I had nothing. I had nothing to do. I was pregnant with my second, it was Tilly, and I started to panic completely. I didn't have any money coming in. I've always been an entrepreneur, so I've always just been busy, like trying to get on to the next thing, have goals, and that just completely died. So I felt like a part of my identity died. And being pregnant is not a good time. There's some panic there. And so I really had to sit back and think, what can I do now to bring an income in? And before going into short-term rental, I was a web developer, and I did a lot of, at the time I did SEO marketing, digital marketing, and I really, really enjoyed it. I did pivot to short-term rental because it was so hot then. So I really had to go back to web design, which I was happy to do. It was a little rusty, but because everybody needed to be online. I had a lot of old clients. I reached out to them, and they were concerned that they didn't, they had to close their doors. They weren't going to be making any money. So we had to bring all them really back online and really have a really robust representation and company online. And so started looking into hiring influencers, local influencers, to help market their businesses and then companies online through social medias like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at the time was coming up. And so at the time, I came across a problem that I was facing when hiring influencers and creators. And I know we do this for businesses. We collect reviews. We go to Trustpilot, we go to Google reviews, and we check out reviews before, you sign a contract or you may purchase something from a brand. And I always thought, I wish there was a website that vetted influencers, like a Trustpilot or a Yelp or a Google review for influencers, so that me as a business person, or for my clients, I can vet them and know that they're trusted and they're going to do what they say they're going to do when I hire them to create content and run a campaign. So I really started I had my second, took some time with her, really started to like chew on that idea, and then went out and started asking around, going to other influencer marketers, going to creators, really figuring out. So I'm just gonna turn off my mail because it keeps dinging. So going to different influencer marketers, going to people in the influencer space and asking, is this a problem that you're having? And if I was to build a product to solve it, would you use it? And so it was a resounding yes. And so I went on to start building a platform like Yelp, like Google Reviews, or Rotten Tomatoes, if you want to call it, or the Glassdoor for influencers. And it's been a journey for sure. It's a very new concept in a very new industry. And there's been many, many ups and many, many downs, but it's growing and it's starting to catch on in an industry that is still fairly new. And I'm really excited with what I've built. It's just myself and a small group of developers. So what we've been able to do in, with limited budget and some time has been really exciting. So my ultimate goal is, to scale Privy as much as possible. But my real dream is, once Privy has moved on to another as CEO or it's been acquired, to really mentor other women in tech. We are very underrepresented in this field. And I really feel that I can use my experience to really encourage other women and hopefully learn from my mistakes that I did and scale much quickly than I can. That is something that is like my 5 to 10 year goal. And that's something even now I want to do it. If I'm on, LinkedIn, I have quite a big presence there. Well, I shouldn't say that. I have quite a community on LinkedIn. And if there's any way I can mentor or just uplift other women in the space, that makes me so happy. That definitely is that's filling my glass. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming online and sharing your story with us. It always fascinates me when I hear these COVID stories and how people had to be really creative to pivot, to find alternative ways of generating an income. And I guess when your back is against the wall is when you are the most creative too. So kudos to you for doing what you did.
I think a lot of people were like that. There was no warm up to it.
Yes.
It was cut and dry. It was sink or swim. It's figure this out or you will drown, essentially. Yeah.
I love it. So as a woman in tech, what challenges did you face while developing and launching Privy? And how did you overcome them?
I think it was finding the right team that would take me seriously. There's just, even in the way of like VCs and investing, a very small percentage of women get funds and funding. And so a lot of times, you can have an idea and you tell a group of men or other developers and they just kind of like, like shrug you off a little bit. And so for me, I felt like I really had to represent myself and advocate for myself a lot and maybe bring out those masculine characteristics and attitude a little bit. But you do really, you have to have thick skin. And a lot of just consistency and honestly, it just kind of lit a fire underneath me. I'm just like, no, I'm going to show them like I can absolutely do this. There's a little bit of jealousy as well when you do show them. I've noticed when I show them what I've built And there's like, oh, you did that? Who did you do that with?
I
So
love
it's like
it.
how you can see it, I'm optimistic about it, right? Like if sometimes it does kind of push you, harder when somebody says something like that. I'm not going to shrivel up and be like, okay, and mouse about it. No, I'm just like, no, I'm going to show you.
You took the challenge. So, how do you believe platforms like Privy can help level the playing field for female creators in the tech and media space?
Tech and media space. So with Privy, creators can sign up to, regardless of what kind of niche they create. So if you're a female and you make tech content or and whatever niche it is, as long as you can utilize things like your past brand collaborations, your audience, and your community, and if they're going to rally for you and give you those 5-star reviews, that's how you're going to rank higher than anybody else on the site. And so if they're going to advocate for you, as long as you have a really solid audience and community that's willing to write you reviews, you'll do really well.
Right. So, what role do you think gender diversity plays in driving innovation within tech startups, particularly in the creator economy?
Yeah, a lot of it's funding. So
Mm.
it's where you're getting the money. And, majority of, VC funding and angel investing goes to male dominant teams. You're going to have an advantage. And so that's the leading, because it does take, a lot of money for these things and a lot of funding if you're really wanting to have like a robust product.
Mm.
But at the same time, they also have more time a lot of times. Like for me, I'm a mother of two and I have a husband and I have to manage the household and all that. There's so much more weighing on what I day-to-day things. And so I don't have necessarily as much time than maybe my male counterparts. So it can be a little bit difficult there if you're on the mom side.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, can you share some strategies that you use to build credibility and trust in the tech industry as a female founder?
Yeah, I really found a lot of success on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
really building out a lot of connections there, asking questions, commenting on other, developers or building in public kind of communities. Just being part of their community, you will gain trust and respect, and also just showing what you've built so far. That harnesses a lot of respect and credibility as well.
Mhm. So, in your experience, how important is mentorship and community support for women in tech, especially those who are looking to enter the startup world?
It's so important. If you have somebody that's available to you to mentor you and has the experience, who's done this before, that is so invaluable. There's no amount of money that would get you that. Somebody that's walked in your shoes and can
Mm.
guide you. That is so immense. Someone you can go to and ask those questions and kind of, bounce ideas off of. It's so, so important. And with a lot of mentorship comes networking as well, which is really big for distribution of your product. So if you have the opportunity to be mentored, I would absolutely take that.
That's fantastic. Now, how does Privy specifically address the unique challenges that female creators face when trying to grow their subscriber lists and secure brand deals?
Yeah. So again, for women, it's really about harnessing your community. It doesn't matter if you have, 1,000 followers or 10,000, as long as you have true fans, you can really utilize them and get them to help you build a, trusted, credible personal brand online using those reviews. If you have, even 10 people that give you a 5-star review, but also like a very robust review, like really outline what's so great about your content rather than just like a couple, 100 reviews just with like a one-liners, right? It's really just about social proof and what your community is saying about you. That's how you harness.
It's all about quality.
It is about quality.
So, what advice would you give to women aspiring to enter the tech industry, especially those who want to create platforms that disrupt traditional markets?
Yeah, again, a mentor for sure.
Mm,
Or if you're able to get into some sort of accelerator that has the network. If you are going in by yourself, it can be very difficult. So if you can find a co-founder, that's obviously ideal because two work way faster than one, and you can bounce ideas off each other as well. And then also, even before you decide to, even before you start building anything, it's really important to start building a personal brand online. So even if
mm,
in 10 years or 5 years or 10 years, you're like, you know what, one day I may need an audience and I might build something that's going to be, you know, a disruptor. You're going to need eyes on that product because distribution is very hard. Building it's one thing, but getting it out to the public and distributing it is even more difficult. I would say like 10 times more difficult. And so if you can now start building your personal brand, whether that be, on Instagram, or I say LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a great place. It's not oversaturated. Start building your brand. Really start doing that because you'll be so thankful in the next 2 or 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, when you're like, oh, hey, I actually need to distribute this product. You have
yeah.
eyes already on you and you have trust and you've built your personal brand.
Now, building a personal brand can be challenging. A lot of people don't even know where to start. Give us three simple steps, three things you can do to start building your personal brand and gaining visibility online.
Right. So you want it to be a thought leader. So something you can go on to LinkedIn and start connecting with other people that are in your niche or in your industry. And with LinkedIn, you only need to post once a week to post more than 90% of the LinkedIn user base. There's a lot of lurkers. There's a lot of people reading on LinkedIn. They're not necessarily engaging, but there's a lot of people that use it. There's a lot of monthly users. And so in order to look like a thought leader, put a lot of thought into your post, but you only need to be posting at least once a week
Mhm.
to do more than anybody else is doing on the platform.
And what I like about LinkedIn, it is a search engine. If you've optimized your bio correctly and have keywords of who you are and what it is that you stand for, it's easy for people to find you as well. So I really
Yeah,
love LinkedIn.
people underutilize like the headline. You can make it something like
Yes.
really clickbaity or just like something that really catches somebody's attention. Mine
Yeah.
is I've built the Rotten Tomatoes for content creators, and you wouldn't believe how many people are intrigued by that line and connect with that. So it doesn't have to be like I work at, so it can be something that's really fun and entices people to click on your profile and check you out, and then use that about section to really sell yourself and
Yes.
what you're about.
That's fantastic. Now, how do you balance the technical and creative aspects of running a tech startup? And how do you see this balance contributing to the success of Privy?
Yeah, I have to be fairly strict in a routine. So in the morning, it'll be all tech related. And so, any bugs I'm dealing with, any support tickets, I really have to, I have 3 hours to work on this, get that done. And then I have to go on to the next creative aspect because I can't be doing it at the same time. You're actually using two parts of your brain if you're using,
Yes.
you know, creativity side, making videos, and then just like dealing with support tickets. And so you actually have to split up your day in order to be as productive as possible, or else I'm just like a confused mess if I'm not splitting it up. And so I really give myself a lot of time to think of like content and be creative. You can use AI these days to really help kind of be productive and make more of it.
Yeah.
But really understanding that getting the content out is just as, or not like even more important than, fixing bugs and support tickets, because again, it's really that distribution and understanding. Like it's scary for a lot of people to be founder
Yes.
led and having your face out there and doing podcasts like these, and going on TikTok and doing lives, and it's scary, but you grow as a person when you put yourself in hard situations, and the only way you can get better is if you keep doing it. And so if you're going to be founder led, you have to be the face of your product these days if you want to, go be better than anyone else.
So, what future trends do you see in the intersection of technology and the creator economy? And how do you plan to ensure that Privy stays ahead of these trends while supporting women in tech?
Yeah, I think the trend we're going to see is that there's going to be a lot more need for products that are discoverability. So not just relying on platforms like TikTok and YouTube to be showing, your ICPs, your ideal audience, your content. You're going to have to take control of who and when can see your content and being able to market yourself. Because, there's somewhat 35, what I read the stat today, like something like 35 million, or I think it's even more, like 300 million videos are updated to TikTok every single day.
Wow.
And so, getting creators to understand and influencers to understand that it's not just good enough to post and ghost, but social media is about being social. And if you really want to connect with other women or other people in your niche or in your industry, you need to go to them on social media and start building communities with them. So we're going to see a really big push for women influencers, any creators, to building community within the market or within these social media platforms, but also take full responsibility of marketing yourself, whether that create your own website, collect reviews, do anything you can do possibly to build a personal brand online, something that's credible and trustworthy.
Yes, I love it. I'm going to take you back. We're going to have a little thought experiment, and I'm going to teleport you back to the younger you, the young woman who went into this field, had to pivot in the middle of a pandemic. If you could go back right now and give her 3 nuggets of wisdom based on what life has taught you up until this point, what would those 3 nuggets of wisdom be?
It would be to sit back and relax and enjoy the ride. These things don't happen overnight. They say every overnight success takes 10 years to build. Be patient and be kind to yourself. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. You're going to learn from those mistakes and do better. I would tell myself, put yourself out there more. Put yourself in the hard situations. No one's going to laugh at you. No one's going to make fun of you. You're just going to grow as a person and grow your character, and it's going to get easier. The more content you make, it will get easier. You will refine it. You will do better. And then the third is, don't wish those stressful days and nights away with your kids. There are things, when things start adding up and you get, the sweaty palms and, your phones, you can hear it buzzing in the background, and you're trying to put your daughter down to bed and you're starting to get a little flustered, not going down really quickly. Take a breath. Everything can wait. We're not, we're not solving cancer. We're not doing anything big like that at the moment. Everything can wait. Just relax. Enjoy the time when they're small and they're at home, because it is so fleeting, and you don't want to really think back at those times and wish that you spent more time and you weren't so flustered, or you weren't so stressed, or you weren't trying to rush. And you can look back and say, you know what? No, I took my time and I enjoyed really every moment, because they grow up so fast.
That's a really good tip, that last one. I have 3 kids, and sometimes I look at my children. They're now 35, 33, and 27. And I think, who swallowed my babies? Where
Yeah.
did they go? You know?
Yeah. Like I have a 3-year-old now. I'm like, wait a minute, where did that time actually go? And I know that time goes faster, right? And becomes more fleeting. And I don't ever want to regret rushing it because I'll never get that time back.
No, you can't. You can't. And I also like the fact that as you're reflecting back on everything you've done, it's not brain surgery. Nobody's
That's
going to
not
die because you have.
exactly, exactly. Like, calm down. Like, so I was like, wake up. Like,
Yeah, sometimes we take life way too
die.
seriously. Oh, I love it. I love it. Now let me teleport you into the future. You're now 90 years old, and we're going to go and meet the 90-year-old you, Vanessa. And she's sitting in her rocking chair, surrounded by her children, her grandchildren, her dogs, her cats, her husband, whoever's there with you at the end. If you could teleport into the future to go and have a conversation with the 90-year-old you, what will you say to her when you finally meet her?
I would ask her a question. I would say, are you proud? Are you happy? When you look back on your life, did I do you proud? Is this what you ever wanted? If this is the one life you were gonna get, and you sit back and you really recant what you did, can you sit back and say it was enough and I'm so happy, and it was, I couldn't have done anything better. I don't regret anything. I would ask her a question.
The other reason why I love to ask women this question, Vanessa, is that a lot of times we forget that the wise woman is already in us.
Mm.
We look outside of ourselves for all of the solutions, but the answers are inside. And we need to trust our intuition. That wise woman is the little voice in your head that says, do it, go left, go right, say yes, say no. But we don't trust ourselves when we're making decisions as women.
Mm-hmm.
She's already there. She's already in you. And we just need to be more intuitive and learn how to listen to that voice as guidance.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me like your wise woman has led you to this point. You have created an amazing tech business out of adversity, out of a pandemic, and good luck with everything you're doing. It's truly inspiring to see somebody who's on the cutting edge of technology and making a difference.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for having me here. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been awesome talking to you, Vanessa, and thank you to everybody who's tuned in today. The Her Story Circle is not just a podcast. We bring you the stories and voices of women from all over the world to uplift you, inspire you, energize you, but more importantly, to empower you with ideas to take you from where you are now to where you want to go. So tune in again tomorrow when I interview yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and bye for now. Thanks again, Vanessa.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates, and join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story.